Greetings to all of you. It's my privilege to give these opening remarks at the Mekong Forum 2022 on the important subject of accelerating post-COVID-19 recovery and building resilience in the Greater Mekong sub-region. The Asian Development Bank is working closely with our member countries to face the challenges of post-pandemic recovery. Our emphasis is on supporting resilient economic growth and green infrastructure development. As the Secretariat of the GMS Economic Cooperation Program, ADB is also supporting the GMS countries in achieving these targets and overcoming the challenges they face. In this context, it's my pleasure to share with you a few examples of the work the GMS program is supporting in the sub-region. The GMS program is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. It's indeed a celebration as the program can boast significant achievements in the last 3 decades. The unique strengths of the program remain its strong ownership from the 6 GMS countries, its work in the core sectors, its focus on achievements through quality development projects, knowledge generation and capacity building through technical assistance projects, and significant success in terms of financing and the achievements accomplished. The COVID-19 pandemic has been, and its continuing impact continues to be, one of the most significant challenges to the sub-region since the inception of the GMS program. The global headwinds coming from some of the other challenges also need to be carefully monitored in the near term. To take one example, the tourism sector, where GMS was the best performing sub-region in 2019, has been decimated. Besides its contribution to growth, there is also a significant risk of sliding back in terms of poverty alleviation achieved over the last 2 decades through the tourism sector. Galvanized into action to counter these challenges, the GMS leaders met at the GMS Leaders Summit in September 2021 and endorsed the new GMS Program Strategic Framework 2030 and the GMS COVID-19 Response and Recovery Plan 2021 to 2023. The GMS 2030 is based on a solid assessment of the key trends, challenges facing the sub-region, as well as the potential opportunities, and the values, interests, and principles commonly shared by the GMS countries. It contains a new GMS vision of a more integrated, prosperous, sustainable, and inclusive sub-region. It retains the 3 traditional pillars of the GMS program, namely community, connectivity, and competitiveness. All GMS program initiatives are being reoriented toward a new mission for the program, which retains the traditional strengths of the program, the 3 Cs, with greater focus on environmental sustainability and resilience, internal and external integration, and inclusivity for building a GMS community with a bright shared future. GMS 2030 also promotes innovative approaches to key cross-cutting areas, including harnessing the digital revolution, an enhanced spatial approach based on an integrated network of economic corridors with clusters of competitive cities connected efficiently to rural areas, a deeper dialogue on policies and regulations, embracing private sector solutions to leverage expertise and financing, gearing the program to cooperate closely with other regional cooperation and integration initiatives, as well as with local governments, the private sector, regional knowledge institutions, and civil societies, and establishing a results monitoring framework. The leaders, while endorsing the new strategy, expressed confidence that it will ensure the program's continued relevance and responsiveness in this decade and will help move the sub-region closer to its new proposed vision. The direct health impact of COVID-19 in the sub-region was initially relatively mild, largely due to the GMS countries' prompt, sound, and science-based containment actions. However, the sub-region faces adverse economic impact of the pandemic with reduced consumption and investment, increased unemployment, and a risk to increases in poverty and inequality. The program responded immediately with prompt corrective actions to support the GMS countries' response to the pandemic. Understanding that the post-pandemic growth and development will remain a challenge in the short to medium term, the GMS leaders endorsed the GMS COVID-19 Response and Recovery Plan 2021-2023, which is supporting GMS 2030. The plan is predicated on three strategic pillars, namely a One Health approach addressing human and animal health, healthy crops and food, and healthy cities, addressing the needs of the vulnerable and the poor, as well as safe and orderly labor movement and management, and finally, keeping borders open and accelerating economic recovery, focusing on trade, facilitation, investments, tourism, and agriculture. Both these key policy and strategy documents in large part deal with challenges of growth and green recovery. The GMS countries understand that a green recovery is critical for the sub-region and necessary to reduce the risks of future pandemics, mitigate and adapt to the impact of climate change, sustainably boost economic recovery and economic activities, and meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Let me now share with you a snapshot of some of the interesting work underway in the GMS program to ensure post-pandemic resilient recovery and rebuilding of the GMS. As national and regional health security is a critical matter, let me delve a bit deeper on this aspect before briefly covering other sectoral issues later. First, on health and human resource development, guided by the three strategic pillars of the GMS Health Cooperation Strategy 2019-2023 and the COVID-19 Response and Recovery Plan I mentioned, the GMS Working Group on Health Cooperation has been an effective mechanism of the GMS program in supporting the COVID-19 pandemic response and recovery efforts. This is at both regional and national levels. Significant financial and TA support has been mobilized, and some of that is also underway to strengthen COVID-19 surveillance and response systems, improve communicable disease control in border areas, procure materials and equipment for diagnosis and protection, and particularly build capacity for pandemic preparedness and resiliency. Partnerships with institutions such as the ASEAN Secretariat and the International Organization for Migration, or IOM, have focused on addressing health threats linked with regional connectivity and human mobility. Vaccination has been a very effective tool in the fight against COVID-19. In 2021, the GMS program quickly supported countries in vaccine rollout and delivery through a $5 million technical assistance, supporting enhanced COVID-19 vaccination and post-COVID-19 health security response in Southeast Asia, called SECURE. In February 2022, Cambodia received additional assistance of $95 million under the Cambodia Rapid Immunization Support Project, aimed at helping the government's vaccination initiatives in 2022 and 2023, including booster shots for those already vaccinated and primary doses for children under 5 years of age. This program is part of ADB's $9 billion Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility, or APVAX, which supports procurement and delivery of safe, effective, and equitable vaccines. In addition to the APVAX project, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is providing co-financing of $50 million for the ADB project. The GMS program is also supporting post-pandemic recovery through development, dissemination, and exchange of knowledge. The use of digital health technologies has been one of the key focus areas, while fostering labor mobility with strong health security features has also been receiving significant attention. Another priority in the GMS Health Cooperation Strategy is One Health. A One Health response takes a unified approach to environmental, animal, and human health and their interactions. Now, planning for a new GMS Health Cooperation Strategy 2024-2030, this is looking ahead, is underway with the GMS Working Group on Health Cooperation, which is set to discuss later this year the emerging areas of support and partnerships needed to deliver on the region's future health opportunities and challenges. This new strategy will assess first the results of the ongoing strategy, draw lessons from the region's COVID-19 response, and will further reinforce the link to ASEAN's health cooperation and other development partner strategies on regional health cooperation. The GMS program will also continue its work on migration and health and communicable disease control through regional security initiatives. Working with the GMS members, we will considerably enhance focus on the interlinkages between climate change and health. Now, let me highlight a few other key priorities for the GMS program. First, on environment, the GMS Core Environment Program is supporting green and resilient COVID-19 recovery efforts in the GMS, covering Cambodia, Laos PDR, Thailand, and Vietnam through the GMS Climate Change and Environmental Sustainability Program, which provides policy support, builds institutional and technical capacities, and demonstrates innovative options to build back cleaner, greener, and more climate resilient economies. Second, on energy, the GMS program supports countries' efforts to achieve greater integration of particularly renewable energy sources through their respective countries' energy development programs. The countries have just set up the GMS task force on energy transition to help develop an overall energy transition vision that emphasizes the subregion's inclusive development of clean energy in transitioning away from fossil fuels. Third, transport infrastructure remains the backbone of the GMS program. In GMS 2030, railways as an area where innovation strategies are being sought, given that it is the most energy efficient and environmentally friendly form of transportation. Through the framework of the Greater Mekong Railway Association, GMS countries are now moving forward in pursuing various priority rail links in the region. Next, on agriculture, the GMS Working Group on Agriculture and various projects are helping the GMS countries to ensure food safety and particularly food security, which has become a critical issue now, and boosting competitiveness of agriculture value chains, a critical part of the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Key themes of support include harmonization of agriculture food safety and quality standards, support for livelihoods and job creation in rural areas, control of transboundary animal diseases or zoonosis and antimicrobial resistance, support for greening and financing inclusive agribusiness supply chains, and promotion of climate adaptive agriculture in the context of the all-important water, food, energy nexus. Tourism. Most countries have reopened to international travelers since late 2021, and travel restrictions or requirements have been considerably reduced in the first half of 2022, allowing for an increase in tourist arrivals, and it has in turn led to greater receipts. GMS countries' COVID-19 response and recovery efforts for the tourism sector have been continuously supported by the GMS Tourism COVID-19 Recovery Communications Plan, as well as the accompanying toolkit prepared by the GMS Tourism Working Group. These guided the dissemination of accurate and timely information that supports a safe, resilient, and sustainable GMS tourism recovery. Next, on urban development, the GMS 2030 priority directions for this area include building the resilience of cities to future pandemics over the medium term through enhanced use of digital technologies, among others, and in the long term, develop livable cities that combine gray, green, and blue infrastructure and strategies for a holistic development. The GMS projects planned for approval under this theme will support urban planning and community resilience and provide infrastructure, particularly water and solid waste management services and urban stormwater drainage systems that will facilitate long-term sustainable economic growth. To support the GMS countries in building resilience of cities, the GMS Urban Development Working Group is exploring the emerging ICT and digital solutions, including transformative opportunities for more efficient water management and improved public service delivery. In closing, distinguished guests, ADB recently conducted an extensive and rigorous internal assessment of the GMS program. All GMS countries have exhibited a strong commitment for the program, and they consider the GMS Secretariat's role as crucial to the successful implementation of the program. As the GMS Secretariat supports the implementation of the GMS 2030 in this decade, we hope to develop and expand our partnerships with knowledge institutions in the sub-region, including particularly the Mekong Institute. We will look forward to more such mutually beneficial engagements. I am confident that the Mekong Forum 2022 will be very successful as it discusses these urgent issues that I've covered that are likely to shape the growth and development landscape of the Greater Mekong sub-region in this decade. Thank you.